I absolve you of your sins. You have been forgiven.
Okay, sure.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, Angry Knees is mad, so Angry Knees, if you want to come into the
No,
waiting
I
room,
actually
I'm
agree
happy
with
to-
like Angry Knees, so I think they're completely valid.
Okay, well, if you want, we can have people come into the waiting room and I can scream at them.
Yeah, go ahead. I think that'll be great.
Okay, Angry Knees, if you want to hop on and hash
We'll kick
this
them out in like 5 minutes. Hostile?
Yeah, just like a quick one. Yeah. Any hostile attackers, please feel free. Hello, Angry Knees! Oh, there we go. Sorry, let me do that cuter. Hello, Angry Knees! How you doing? Mwah.
So, am I here to talk about why you're wrong about this?
Oh, good, your audio is absolutely fucking clapped. Yeah, go ahead. Why defend the trans community, which
Is it normal, or is it just
Can
regular levels of class?
Can you talk quieter or step away from the microphone, because Dispel can't turn you down, so the stream's just gonna get your blown out audio.
Cute Accelerationist Theory, collegated by the Marketable Archive, with Smugbug, international consultant, political author, and CEO.
Phone. I'll be back in a second.
That's probably better. How is your microphone worse than your phone? Insane. Insane. There's nothing about transness that encourages consumerism any more than any other identity. The biggest cope I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm probably
Embarrassing.
gonna turn
Oh,
them down.
Jesus Christ. The distance between you and your desire and the coercive power of your desire is what drives your consumptive behavior. There is no more coercive desire, no more coercive force than literal suicidality, literal death. It cannot get stronger than that. So yes, I think that trans people, by virtue of being coerced into performing a appearance that is more distant from their default state of being, are more likely to consume, because they're literally in the same way that you could say someone who's born without fucking legs needs to consume more because they have to use a fucking wheelchair instead of walking around on their own two legs. Trans is defined in terms of dysphoria? No. Obviously, there are trans people who aren't dysphoric, but most trans people speak to a feeling of dysphoria
to relieve that, right? Or
yeah,
generally,
but how
you need to.
how are you transing yourself without fucking consuming something? What midwit take? Stay mad, liberal. Yeah, I'm coming out. I'm coming out as anti-trans finally. No, I love the trans community. I love my trans friends. Oh wait, Angry Users. Sorry. You just made an example of someone without legs? Yes, I did. Hi, Angry Knees.
Your microphone is.
Hey.
Yo.
Am I coming in clear now?
It's a bit better, but Dispel, you might want to turn them down in Discord, like,
Way ahead of
severely.
you.
Okay, cool. Alright, go ahead.
Okay, so where were we? Like after the thing bit lost. So yeah, your argument was basically that like transness necessarily made you a much stronger consumerist. I would argue this is really mostly a phenomenon we see with like the media trans folk, and less the like
Yeah, but
actual
The actual
day-to-day like.
Yeah, there it is. you got them so fast. Holy shit, Dispel. Yeah, sorry. So why don't you make a distinction between the real trans people and the fake trans people, Angry Knees? Go ahead.
Okay, super fair argument. The main distinction I'm making is like just the vast majority of people I like meet that are trans, because like when you look kind of fruity, you bump into those type. We talk. They're really not fitting the specific mold of like like they have like this FFS. They like have this like very specific like Valley Girl sort of style that you see in the media all the time. Like most of us, like most trans people I bump into, they just look like slightly more feminized queer people, just because like you don't have the money for that FFS. You don't, like, maybe you're on estrogen, but like you don't have like all these like different things, and frankly like a lot of us I don't think would really want to get all these surgeries and all that sort of stuff. Like we just do the level of feminization like to make us not really experience gender dysphoria as much. Like yes, you could say that the actual like buying like your anti-androgens or like your estradiol or whatnot, like does make you more of a consumer. But like that, like at
Okay.
that point,
So
most
I
people
think
are on medication.
yeah, I see I see the angle that you're coming from that makes it I see your point. I am okay. I think I'm deferring more to like relationships and flows. I'm sorry, but so I'll give you an example. So we agree that kind of everyone experiences some kinds of gender dysphoria, right?
Sure.
Okay. So do you think that you think that trans people experience more gender dysphoria than cis people?
That's hard because you see some of these boys and the way they talk about masculinity, and they're clearly
True.
struggling. I don't really. I would, I guess, say yes because the fact that you're actively identifying in this specific way means that it means a lot to you.
I think boys benefit from like defaultism in a way that trans people don't. So you can kind of like not engage with dysphoric feelings, but through other systems of structure and thought. If you're a young man who is struggling with not feeling masculine enough, in ways that trans people probably can't.
Hmm.
But broadly we agree, right? Like the trans experience experiences it contains more severe gender dysphoria, and you know we bear that out in relations to interventions and gender affirmation and the subsequent impacts on like depression rates and suicidality, stuff like that.
Yeah, like as
So
a general rule, like not compared to like every specific subclass of cis people, but like just compared to cis people
compared
as
to
a
average, yeah,
whole.
sure. So but the point I'm making is that the greater the distance between you and the thing you want to identify as, the more change you're going to have to enact. And that change in a non-coerced or a non-capitalist society, you would be able to enact that change in other ways that would be sufficient, right? Like you could you know change your social presentation, and that would essentially and then people's relation to you would change enough that you may even experience, you know, you would end up having that gender affirmation socially more than physically. But instead what you have to do in this system, because the system is designed that way, right, it's designed to turn desire into consumptive capital. What you end up doing is being presented as the only option is to go through this process of consumptive change, which only ends up serving capitalist interests. And then, by the time you reach that point of supposed, as you say, like the bougie, you know, kind of media trans, that is the primary, you know, kind of target for trans people, and so that ends up being reproduced socially, and the end result is a flow of desire into productive, consumptive capital that wouldn't exist without that transness, without that inherent need for changing from your default state into something other. Now, in another system, that would be totally fine. So I'm not saying that transness is inherently capitalist. I'm saying that transness within capitalism ends up reinforcing capitalist problems, consumptive problems.
I mean, I will pick at one assumption you're making here, the fact that like
Okay.
we want to be these dolls. Like I don't really think your average trans person wants to be a doll. And mind you, also like I feel like a lot of the consumptive practices are like more of a trans feminine thing and less of a trans masculine phenomena. Um, I mean, besides the whole medication of it all, of
I mean,
course.
I'm not even sure that
Um,
trans men exist.
and so like within that, I do think a lot of this is kind of like just the general way that we kind of visibilize trans femininity a lot more than trans masculinity. But if we look at the like specifics of what we're actually like doing, like kind of the big things are like, you know, like growing out your hair, shaving your body hair, um taking medication, changing your clothes, and vocal training. Now, the medication is a consumptive thing. The changing your clothes, I mean, it is kind of fundamentally consumptive, but you don't buy more clothes. You just buy different clothes because we're
Do
all
you
buying
think?
clothes. And
I
the
think
vocal
I
training is and
sorry.
is just both the vocal training and the to some extent the shaving. Like of course you're buying razors, like razors aren't a big consumptive habits. Like those two are pretty much non-consumptive, and like the vocal training is kind of the big one you really see for like people that aren't really trying to fit the super bougie definition but do want to be viewed as a woman. So continue.
Okay, no, I think that's fair enough. I think we need to crack on with the rest of the book, but
Yeah.
I'm happy to continue on in call-ins later.
Yep.
Yeah.
You make a
Have
fair
fun with
point. Like
it.
there are significant proportions of like the trans experience that can be achieved without consumption. I guess our main dispute is just that we disagree on the actual amount of like what the average trans person kind of relates to and is targeting in terms of their trans experience. And I think it
Yeah,
makes
I'd
sense
imagine
because
a lot of this comes down to like our communities that we're in.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I live in London, which is very dolly, and you are more like in anarchist spaces, kind of directly,
Yeah.
especially broke anarchist spaces, where I think that's more
Yeah,
clear.
I'm in the broke Midwest.
Exactly. So that is fair enough.
All
But
right.
yeah, it's
Thank
gold.
you, Angry News.
Nees,
Yeah.
thank you so much
Peace out,
for
y'all.
joining. I think we're
All the
gonna
power
leave
to
it
all
at
the
it.
people.
We're gonna continue to have. We're
Silence
gonna have.
this trans voice.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for coming into the
Silencing
conversation and contributing absolutely
oppress
nothing, just so we can kick you out of the space. Please make way for the cishet men. Thank you so
Leave!
much. We're giving you the opportunity to voluntarily leave. They're not taking it. Smug, can you
It's
coerce them
firing
out of the
squad.
call, please?
Yep, dead, killed, done.
Yeah. Do
I
have
used
to-
hard power, not soft power.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you so much. Wow, that was really intrusive on our space.
Yeah, I really hate that we create these safe areas for discussion and we just get fucking like mobbed, overwhelmed, attacked. The trans community just won't leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Honestly, like there's is there left safe from woke. There's nothing left. It's all over.
Yeah, honestly, some of these people should just like retreat back into their shells.
True.
All right.
Hey, wait a minute.
Do you want to move on to the next chapter? Do you have anything else to say
Yeah,
about
sure.
the vor aminology?
God, did I? Yes, there was one other piece, which is the implication of skinwalking, which I really don't like either. I hate the idea. I hate the idea of skinwalking. I think it's fucked. It's gross. It's bad. It's weird.
But you are a Destiny skinwalker.
Ah! No, I think
You're a Vosh skinwalker? Who's a Destiny skinwalker?
I am a Vosh skinwalker. Yes. I think that man, I honestly, my problem is that I wrote down skinwalking because it has big vibe, angry energy to me, but I can't. I don't know if I can unpick it raw dog without thinking about it a little bit more.
Have we diffused all the anger?
Maybe angry knees softens me. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like you have come to the terms.
That's true. I've been
content.
cutified. I think
Has the rum
okay,
in your eyes like worn down? Do you need another couple of
that's
drops of
probably
rum in
it.
your eye?
I think I'm already drunk. I think that's the problem. Okay. So I think that the frustrating thing about the skinwalking aspect, I think, is that these are I can't tell if it's the invasion of another identity that pisses me off, or whether it's the sort of coating of your own identity in something else. I think there's more to unpack there. I need to. We can move on. I can't.
You
I
gotta
can't
let it
figure out my
steep a
problem
little
with
bit.
it exactly.
Yeah, I kind of want to get off this slide anyways because omnominado
Is maddening.
is then split into logi.
Yeah.
It's almost like
It
a
looks like an
commando,
omnomnado. Yeah, an omnomnado, yeah.
We need our own cute commandos who are omnomnados.
As if we don't already have the pond.
Yeah.
The critters.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Little guys.
Then let's move on to how to make ourselves oohs. This
Oh,
is
shit.
this chapter I think is in absolutely no relationship